Y'all, I'm here with OMC. Say hi, honey.
Hello.
We're getting a Subway sandwich again. so, Tiffany and I were talking on the way here and watching some YouTube and stuff and thinking about uh, freedom. Like what is freedom to everybody? It seems to really have a lot of different meanings to people, and then freedom seems to have um, issues within itself, within people, if that makes sense. Like, people don't even really know what exactly they expect out of freedom. And last night's live stream kind of put me um, in another mental headspace because, it just seems like no matter how hard I try to communicate, uh, you know, how important things are, there's always in every conversation a hiccup between freedom and freedom. And it seems like is it not working, honey? Did it work?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
There's a lot of there's always a hiccup between freedom and freedom, and I think in like the genre, the 1A community, you know, unintentionally, I think there's a lot of hypocrisy due to us fully not completely agreeing on what freedom really is to us. Meaning, there's like a whole sector within the community that all stand for freedom, but they're not fully compliant on which sort of freedom that is. Maybe you all should answer in the chat what your thoughts on freedom are, and we'll see the division right here in the chat, because there really are two different forms of freedom in this country. One is the freedom that we've agreed to in a contract with the government, and the other is a freedom of zero government, pure freedom, no answering to anybody. You don't, if you were free, then no one would be there or be capable of holding you accountable for anything, telling you what you need to do to fit into any kind of society. There would be no collective. We would all be individuals, which I'm fine with. I could do that. I could be completely separated and do my own thing and throw a big F you to anybody that tries to tell me what to do. I like that kind of freedom. I like that kind of freedom. It might put me off as being, like an asshole or non-compliant and maybe not very good in society, but that would be a form of like real freedom, meaning that I would have to take care of everything of mine on my own. It Without a government, I don't think very many people would really be able to like live that life. I don't think they'd be able to really live that lifestyle. Like it'd be fucking hard. We created society as humans because of how much easier it is. And then we've negotiated how to work together to maintain society. So collectively we have come up with ways. If a nation becomes a dictatorship, then it's like no freedom whatsoever. No obligations from the society that we've agreed with. No, just pure directives. That's where we're heading as a nation right now. But I also think that before we could really work together and fully understand one another on what we expect out of the word freedom, or the ideology of the word freedom, or the ideology of freedom at all, then the first thing we're going to need to do is come up with what we agreed to as being freedom, and stop chopping at each other's throats and calling each other statists or sovereigns, and I'm guilty of that too. So, I see it as a problem. Freedom. I've heard people argue that it's not freedom when their First Amendment isn't respected. Correct. But why are you even using the First Amendment in that scenario? Because that's not freedom either. Like, you wouldn't need a piece of paper to tell you what you're allowed to do. That's a permission slip. Essentially, the whole entire Constitution and Bill of Rights is nothing but a permission slip, essentially, if that's the way you view it. So I think that's something to ponder for everybody and sort of go, all right, we need to figure out what we do want and stick to it, and kind of, I don't want to say it's not physically when I say this, but fight for it. And I think where Tiffany and I stand is that we'd prefer, well, because we don't think other people, maybe even we even question ourselves being capable, we don't think people could survive full-on freedom. No contracts, no expectations, no help from society, no rules, no expectations. We don't think that society can afford that. So we would prefer to stand on the grounds, whether we're called statists or not. I'll have legit discussions with anyone who wants to call me a statist for what I'm about to say. In my heart, I'd like to be completely free. But if anyone wants to come at me sideways and call me statist for this, I'll talk to them. I'll debate them. Because I think that society is only ready. Humans in this country especially, I can't really speak for other countries, but in this country, I believe the only thing that we can afford to do, the only thing that humans are prepared for, is you got to think there's children, there's old people, there are disabled people that need help, that need the support of a congruent society. So I think if we're going to have empathy for others, we're going to have to accept the fact that the government system is the thing that's in place. They're going to do the roads. They're going to work on the transportation things. They're going to, whatever, all the shit that the government we've chosen will do, or will do. Therefore, we're going to stand on, in our circle is going to be that we demand the constitutional freedoms, the ones that were agreed to in contract with the fucking government. And that being said, that's what you're going to find here. And I challenge anyone with a different aspect to talk to me about it, because we got to hash that out. We got to figure that out, since our constitutional freedoms are under attack right now. Like, literally, the government is flat out denying them. All this shit going back and forth about, well, I have every right under the Second Amendment to not have any rules about my guns, or I have every right under the First Amendment to not have any rules pertaining to anything in the First Amendment, or I have every right under my Fourth Amendment to not have any rules. So, that's not true with our contract with the government. Our contract with the government is very complicated, but there are a lot of laws that give us the freedom in the constitutional part. And those are being directly violated. Like the government is breaching contract. And when the government breaches contract, that's when the shit hits the fan. So we're raising the flag. We're saying the shit's hit the fan. And we need to figure this all out collectively. Yeah. Anyway, it was just a thought. I wanted to share it with you. Tiffany's getting frustrated trying to do her mobile order. You all right, Tiff? So we're going to hop off here. I just wanted to make that real quick, and I cut that 6.5 hour, which I won't be doing that anymore. I'm not going to do long ass panels like that with going in circles on all over the place. No offense to the people that were on panel. It's pointless if we're just going to keep disagreeing about every little nook and cranny and shit. It was too exhausting for me. I woke up this morning and felt too exhausted to get things done. My voice was worn out, so, and I've got other shit going on. We actually had to postpone yesterday's video because some crazy shit happened that got us really busy, like some shit that we had to take care of first. And I mean, that puts us behind, and I'm still behind. So I got to focus on what the fuck I'm doing with this YouTube channel and not just go in circles. And I think at the end of the day, like I said at the very end of that panel, for those of you, the few of you that caught it, that stuck through 6.5 freaking hours, I'm exhausted in trying to stand for people's freedoms. I'm exhausted because, if we're not going to be able to collectively figure it out, it ain't going to happen anyway. Like whatever's going to happen is just going to fucking happen. It's just going to happen. And for the people who thought that you were standing 10 toes down on freedom, you didn't have that. You never had it. You didn't have full freedom. That's nowhere in the world right now. Maybe some fucking jungle somewhere on the planet, but you don't know it. You got YouTube. If you got YouTube, if you got a phone, if you got TV and satellite computer in a house with couches and furniture and product in the refrigerator, you don't have pure freedom, because that's not possible on pure freedom. So, I think there's been a lot of that, kind of getting blown in, and now people are confusing that type of freedom with the freedom that we're allotted through our contract with the government. So call me statist, come at me sideways, let's debate who's a statist and who's not a statist. I'm standing for the freedom that we have expectations that we have on contract. That's the one I'm standing for. I just don't know if we're going to continue to do it in the same way that we've been doing it. I don't know. All I know is policing is getting ready to get fucking impossibly bad. And I don't see any First Amendment genre lasting through that at all. There'd just be a bunch of people getting arrested on TV. That's all it's going to be. And I think that's going to start now. Like, anyone that goes and challenges police officers in this climate to see if they care about your freedom, why the fuck should they? There's no DOJ to hold them accountable for it. The DOJ has chosen the cops. You all lose. You've lost. You've lost under this FBI director. You've lost under this administration. If your challenge was to see who the government would choose, well, they chose themselves. You lose. So anyone who is challenging those constitutional knowledge of the government officials right now, good luck. Good luck. We still love you. We still support you or whatever, but you ain't gonna be around much longer. You're gonna be in jail or deported or what the fuck ever. So we'll see. Tiffany and I, we're gonna keep trying to ensure that government follows the laws that they agreed to. That's what we're going to continue to do. All right, guys, I'm going to go get my food. Love y'all, and see you on the next one. I'm working on a video for you, by the way. And we'll see you later.